Remote, rugged, resilient. The Falkland Islands are unlike anywhere else in the world, but what makes them so special? Is it the incredible stories of its people, shaped by a fascinating and often turbulent history? Or is it the breathtaking wildlife that thrives here, from penguins to albatross to some surprising predators? Maybe it's the adventure of exploring this remote paradise, one geocache at a time, but we had to find out for ourselves. Join us as we explore the history, meet the people, and discover the incredible wildlife of the Falkland Islands. By the end of this journey, you'll see why this place left such an unforgettable mark on us. Well, good morning, adventurers. We are on the MS Roald Amundsen and we are headed into the Falkland Islands, and we're going to take you for an adventure with geocaching as our tour guide as we explore the Falkland Islands, and particularly, first off, Stanley. Stanley is the capital of the Falkland Islands and was our first stop after Antarctica. Having arrived by tender and found our first geocache at the pier, it was time to set off on foot exploring the town, using geocaching as our tour guide to fascinating locations. Our next stop was the Christchurch Cathedral and the famous Whalebone Arch. So adventurers, as we've been exploring around using geocaching as our tour guide, we've also come to the museum here in town, and we're checking out some cool displays, including the original blacksmith shop. Now the old printing office.
But it wasn't all so serious, as we definitely had fun letting geocaching be our tour guide through some of the interesting spots to visit in Stanley that we might not have seen otherwise.
Well, this is the point where we definitely will say thanks for the cache. All right, adventurers, we're on the Falklands and we're having some trouble with these caches, so I'm just going to go ahead and phone a friend. We'll see if we can get a little assistance here. Can you believe it? They wouldn't even answer. But would you believe that we lucked into an exclusive tour of Falkland Beer Works, enjoying a chat with the owner? In the Falklands, when they say microbrew, they mean microbrew. This is awesome.
It's a fun day in Stanley. But it's time to tender back to the Roald Amundsen as we head off to our next stop in the Falklands.
Well, good morning, adventurers, from day 2 here in the Falkland Islands. And as a reminder for us that we are on an expedition ship and everything is subject to change, we were going to be landing there this morning. And as you can see behind me, the seas were just too rough. They made the decision, as is often the case on these ships, to go with plan B or possibly C. We'll have to see, depending on the sea, and what we're going to end up doing today. So plan A is off the maps now, and we're going to see what we get up to. It's an adventure, it's a surprise, it's an expedition. So come with us as we find out what we are going to get up to in the Falklands today on the MS Roald Amundsen. Well, adventurers, this is plan B. We are still in the Falklands. Honestly, I'm not sure where we are. They haven't actually informed us of that yet, but we're waiting to find out. We've got a beautiful place. Looks like we're going to be landing here. Looking forward to learning more as we get ashore and explore. So adventurers, this is plan B. Whew. Sorry about the wind noise, but it is blustery here. About a 2.5 kilometer walk up and over the island. And we are headed towards what promises to be a very interesting site. And so after visiting the rock hoppers and the albatross, we're on our way over to another penguin colony, following this trail along the waterfront, checking out the views as we go. So we're making our way now over to a Magellanic penguin colony. Magellanic penguins are unique because they create burrows in the dirt or the sand, so it's going to be quite interesting to check this out. Let's go see.
our first day in Stanley, and now a day on the West Falklands, we couldn't help but reflect on the remote, rugged, and resilient nature of the Falklands and how beautiful it all was.
Well, good morning, adventurers. It is our final day in the Falklands. We have some amazing adventures ashore planned. We're just getting ourselves ready for our group to get on the Zodiacs and go ashore right there. So stay tuned, find out more about this next adventure in this amazing series through Antarctica, the Falkland Islands, and South America. So adventurers, we have landed on New Island and we're going to walk across the island to check out rookeries where there's albatross and rockhopper penguins and all kinds of different birds. So come along for that amazing part of the adventure as we go out and check out New Island, our last stop.
Before we left New Island, we enjoyed visiting the small museum here. And then it was back to the Zodiacs and the bumpy ride to the ship. As we got ready for a fond farewell to the Falkland Islands.
Yeah, you're good to go. Welcome back. Thank you.
Geocaching brought us here, but the unforgettable feelings and fascinating fauna framed a new vision for us of what this remote, rugged, and remarkable place is. And some time spent learning about the people who make this their home brought us to understand just how much the Falkland Islands are made up of unseen stories and wild secrets. We encourage you to pursue adventures and learn about the people and places around you, and let geocaching be your tour guide. If this video resonated with you, give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, subscribe and consider joining our awesome Patreon family, who get extra bonus perks and help us keep creating amazing geocaching travel adventures.